The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
That are on the board on a host of subjects, but you really need to go to mcso.org and donate today. That's not why he's here. Notice he didn't even ask me to promote that or talk about trying to fund Sheriff Arpaio's separate group that he heads up, not just investigating the birth certificate, but a lot of other murder cases. You name it. Mike Zullo is our guest, mcso.org. But we were talking about mysterious deaths of Breitbart and people like that, and Hastings, and it's how the media is like, you shouldn't look at that. It's a conspiracy theory to even look at it. That just shows how they'll turn the other way if a bunch of people start getting killed.
I know, and
that's what you said off air, yeah.
Look, without the media, without a real outlet for people to hear and get truthful reporting, they are then ignorant of facts. They are ignorant of pertinent stories. And how could you expect someone who's ignorant of anything to, number one, take an action, come to their own conclusion, or know the difference between truth and deception? Ignorance is a killer. And until we figure out a way to change that, we are going to have a major, major problem in this country coming to any conclusion as a united body.
I don't want to have confrontations with the system because I get the average person and it's just brainwashed like the general public. But when the government's training and buying billions of bullets and 7,000 armored vehicles and all the rest of this, but you see the public buying 100 million guns since Obama got in and we know of, and everybody says, I don't trust it. People instinctively know this is a tyranny. I mean, I guess that's the last check is that. And I guess if it gets too bad, I hate to think what's going to happen.
Well, Sheriff Arpaio has a tank. Sheriff Arpaio has a 50 caliber machine gun.
But he's elected locally.
But he's never going to use that stuff against his own people. And that's the difference here. You have to tell me, what is DHS? And
he needs it down there in that area, yeah.
He does need it down there. What is DHS going to do with that kind of equipment? Who are they going to fend off? We have a military to protect the borders. Who are they going to use that against? Why are they acquiring that?
Well, they admit it's for the Tea Party. Their own manuals all say returning veterans, gun owners, libertarians, in the fetters, anybody who's really an American. I mean, let's face it. We're nothing special. We're just Americans. I mean.
I say this to a lot of people now. What is the privilege that you have being a United States citizen, being a natural-born United States citizen? What are the privileges? Because you can't tell me that we have any, because you can just come over a border and get them here. You don't have to be a citizen to get these privileges.
You get almost more rights when you're not a citizen.
And so I know when my grandparents came here, they came here, went through the naturalization process, and became United States citizens. And because it meant something, you gained something. You gained those constitutional protections. Those are given to people now regardless of how they come over. Sheriff Arpaio, when he does those immigration sweeps and things that they criticize him about, let me tell you something. I've worked with those deputies, human smuggling deputies. I watched those deputies put their lives on the line, taking down coyotes, bringing over human traffic from Mexico, defending and protecting people from another country.
Most police just roll over now and take the money. Oh. I mean, look at what they've done in Mexico to the system. I mean, do we really want Mexico to collapse into us? This is madness.
Well, the whole premise that I think is it's just one big open border. I think that's what everybody wants. And they're giving us the ruse.
Look at the signs up to 70 miles into Arizona saying, don't go into this area controlled by Mexican drugs.
Stood right next to those. And you look at
that's the feds planting a flag saying drug cartels took this over.
Yeah, and they're facing inland from the border. They're facing to America telling you don't go in here. It's a United States property.
And the next it'll be 100 miles.
Yeah.
And then 200 miles. Yeah. And then 300 miles. We're going to come back, take a few calls. Mike Zullo, amazing interview. Stay with us, InfoWars.com.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.